Hi, my name's Jerry. I'm building a greenhouse and I want you to see what I'm doing. And so let's go have a look. Well, first we're going to look at the first greenhouse I made, which is shown here. This is in the backyard of our home in Salt Lake City, Utah. So I did this in 3 stages. As you can see, this is a PVC-based greenhouse, and it's got 2x4s holding it up, but heavy snows sometimes knocked it down, so I had to redesign it several times, and finally got to this greenhouse 1.3, I guess, and it held up really well. Still, though, a PVC based greenhouse, and it covers 4 beds. Inside we had a ventilation fan, 4 beds that we grew all kinds of stuff in. The greenhouse design didn't include a very good vent, and so the fan was really important. Okay, so now we're going to go from a PVC-based greenhouse to our new design, which is cattle panel. And here is the new greenhouse. We live in western Colorado now, and we get really high winds, and so we want to protect young plants from the high winds because that will really kill them. I've just put the plastic film from the past greenhouse onto this new design here just to kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. And so it's got cattle panels underneath, and we're going to put wooden 2x4 frames on either end. So here's a look here at how these cattle panels come together. I've got one lower layer that's 50 inches tall, and that goes all the way around 12 by 12 feet. And then I've got the upper arch. The archway is about 14 feet from end to end. And so the cattle panels come as a 50-inch by 16-foot sheet. And so some of these have been cut down in order to fit into this space here. We're going to have just one bed inside this greenhouse, and then outside there are more beds behind the greenhouse there. You'll see there's 2x4s supporting the roof. And you'll see in a later shot that I put in wider panels in the roof because these panels I felt were not going to be strong enough to flex against the wind very well. Okay, so a door right here, there's going to be a door, and then I will build 2 vents, one on each end that can be opened to ventilate the greenhouse in the summertime when it gets pretty hot. Okay, so here we are. I've taken the plastic off, and you can see I've put up the wider panels on the arches. So now there's a full 50-inch width arch on each end, and then in the middle there's about a half of a panel worth of arch. And so now everything is held together with 12 gauge electrical wire salvaged from previous projects, but we are going to weld those corners. So this is the greenhouse with the end pieces built. You can see the door right here and the window for ventilation. Wooden frame, and then inside cattle panels. So the plastic will be stuck to these surfaces right here. We're using wiggle wire or maybe with a board. The plastic we're using here is left over from a previous greenhouse, so it's going to be taken down and replaced with new greenhouse grade film, 6 mil. So we're planning on just brazing in spots along the edge where the 2 cattle panels come together, corners and sides. It's nice to leave that space up there because then you can get up there and pass over the film when you're covering it. So you don't have to have this solid cattle panel across the top here. I cut off 2 feet on the ends. So you could make this a couple feet wider if you wanted. It's 12 feet now. You could do it as a 14-footer and not have to cut the upper cattle panel. can see here, the corners and the other junctions are all brazed, and it's going to hold that together really well. The brazing is done, as you see here, and now just going along and covering all of the sharp edges with this pipe insulation. We'll do that all the way around. Wherever there's a sharp point where the polypropylene film could get snagged and ripped, we'll just cover it with this pipe insulation. Okay, we're just putting the pipe insulation over all the sharp edges. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do until my shipment comes with the plastic, and then I'll come back and make part 2 and show you how it looks when it's finished. Thanks for watching. Bye.